You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
The Herons are back. Beards talking, balls rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Battered Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. $3.99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 345 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, is Mr. KBD, who is in his feelings. How are you doing, Mr. KBD?
This is a travesty, Danny. I don't care what we were waiting for. This is a disaster.
He is referring to the fact that I told him it's not that big a deal because this is something that we were expecting. Although
You're wrong.
hate to see it because Robert Taylor, it's either him or Drake that I think go up as the most important Inter Miami player before Messi arrives, right? Because at this point it's Messi, of course. But outside of Messi, I think Robert Taylor or Drake has to be that guy. And but yes, Robert Taylor, for those that are tuning in and weren't aware, Robert Taylor has been traded to Austin FC for allocation money. I think it was $700,000. I want to say.
I think it was 750,000, but we'll stay with your number.
Okay, so Robert Taylor, no more, and it's a sad day because if you think about the roster that was with Miami prior to the new era that came with Messi, starting the summer of 2023, now we only have Drake. Drake is the last remaining player from before the Messi era. So for everybody that followed the team before that, it is a sad day because, you know, that was the last little bit of OG Inter Miami that we had on the team.
And Mr. Krabs saying we got rid of Neymar Light to get the real Neymar. I mean, who knows?
No,
But
we're not getting
Pedri
Neymar.
Potter, you hit me in the lower section here, saying Chris can cry. That's what he deserves for being biased and running an agenda against particular players and hyping mid players. Pedri, that was low. That was low, even for you, Pedri. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, look at this, calling him Timu Anthony.
No. Robert Taylor's a staple on this show because we coined him as Neymar Light, episode number 1. I remember that was one of the first things that we talked about. We called him a Neymar Light because for those of you that didn't get to see Robert Taylor at his best, which was prior to Messi's arrival and even that first month that Messi was here, you got to see Robert Taylor, but soon after that, he kind of lost his spot. But Robert Taylor's a baller, and he's going to ball in Austin. I've told you, and I've said it a couple of times, in Austin, they could be better, but that guy Uzuni, I can't stand Uzuni down on the left wing. I think that he ruins Austin's attack, and Robert Taylor's going to step in, and I think he's going to win that job. And he's going to be right next to Brandon Vasquez and Bukhari.
Well, shout out to everybody, the real ones in this chat. Shout out to you guys, okay? Because this is crazy. ATX FC fan commented on my Twitter post. He says, no way he plays 80 minutes. Maybe during Open Cup. We spent $32 million on our attacking three up top. They will be the starters.
Uzuni sucks.
Good luck with that.
But yeah, Robert Taylor, they don't know what they have in Robert Taylor yet.
Yeah, somebody pissed in Pedri's cornflakes. Listen, this is a disaster. Like, okay,
but Pedri, you cannot compare Robert Taylor to Campana. Campana wasn't very good in his time here. When he had a chance, he wouldn't produce. Robert Taylor, whenever he's had the chance, he's done well.
And look, Nick, everybody's meeting me at the Yellow Lot this weekend. We're meeting at the Yellow Lot, pitchforks, everything.
But
and
we
we're
said
rioting.
this was happening.
No, I don't care, Danny. We're rioting at the park.
So why are you acting so surprised?
I'm not surprised, but I didn't want it. So I'm rioting. I'm going to riot at the stadium. That's it.
So
and if
you were going to say this, you knew it was coming. You were just waiting to say it.
I mean, I guess you could say you knew it was coming because he deserves better, because this team hasn't treated him with the utmost respect.
Well, I will say that in like 10 or 15 years, when we're having a conversation about most underappreciated Heron of all time, I think Robert Taylor will probably be that guy.
And the crazy part is that he's like okay with playing the background. Like every coach has been like, hey, Robert Taylor, we're going to put somebody else in your place. And he's like, okay, I'll sit back. Yes.
I remember there was one international break where he didn't go to play for Finland, even though he got called up
Literally
he wanted to play.
himself.
Right. He passed up playing for his, I mean the Finnish team isn't necessarily the best, but he passed up playing for his international team to play the games here for Inter Miami. So Robert Taylor's a real one. And is it him or Drake? Because I know that they reached 100 games, I think at the same game almost. I don't know.
Well, Pedri, if you only remember an own goal from Robert Taylor, then honestly, and this is without like exaggerating and like over, like you honestly didn't watch that many games. You honestly haven't watched.
You probably didn't watch a lot before Messi got here.
Which is okay.
A lot of people didn't.
It's okay. But if you're going to speak, at least watch the games, Pedri. Come on. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you all kinds of stuff about other players because I don't watch them. Like, come on. Give me a break.
So, all-time appearances for Inter Miami, Robert Taylor is almost number one. Drake is number one with 117, which happened, like a week or two ago that he got that 117th, that last start he got. Yeah. And then Robert Taylor is at number two with 116. So they were both tied at 116, and then Drake got that start a couple weeks ago, and he's now at 117. So Drake is the all-time leader in appearances for Inter Miami. And as of right now, outside of Drake, the only active player on the all-time top 10, the next one is Kremaki. He's in sixth with 81 appearances. Noah Allen, seventh with 75. Sergio Busquets is in eighth with 73.
I mean, that just tells you, with the time with this franchise.
No, and Busquets, that he's been an Iron Man. You know what it is? He just got here, and he's already.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. It's like you said, the time that he just got here, and now like all the games that he's played. I mean, it's something that a lot of people probably didn't expect. Shout out to Christian Reyes with the Super Slam. And with a little chopped up Solana. I think they are after Di Maria for the Club World Cup. I mean, it could be. There's been some. I mean, it could be.
That's for you.
It could be. Yeah.
Go cry in your.
Listen, I'm gonna go cry all by myself in my room in the darkness, just holding my Robert Taylor paraphernalia. I'm so sad that I didn't get this shirt autographed. Like, I went to Charlotte with this shirt and I didn't get it autographed. Like, Redondo was going to help me out. He's like, well, I'm going to go get him. And he never got him for me. Like, screw you, Redondo. Good job there, buddy.
Robert Taylor, unfortunately, no longer with us. I kind of wish we didn't have the whole copyright thing to worry about, because I wanted to play the Boyz II Men song.
Yeah.
Although we've come.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I wanted to start the show with that so bad, but obviously they kill us with the copyright thing, so we couldn't do that. But yeah, Robert Taylor's no longer with us. We're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss him. And yeah, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can reach out to Robert Taylor now that he's no longer with the team. I'm gonna see if maybe he'll come on and talk to us. I'm gonna reach out to him.
Well, shout out to Ed Bigote, who personally reached out to me earlier today to check up on myself. $5 is all Taylor and Campana are really worth.
No, you can shit all you want on Campana, but do not disrespect Robert Taylor. That's Neymar light. Robert Taylor was a G with us.
Look, everybody has their own opinion, and I get it. But Robert Taylor, when he had the chance and he had his opportunities, he'd show that he was capable. So
I agree. If there was if we were struggling and we needed somebody that can create their own shot and Messi wasn't playing, Robert Taylor can create his own shot. He would create space. He could take defenders one-on-one. And there aren't a lot of people on this team that can do that. And Robert Taylor was that guy.
Well, I'm downloading the top 11 and the nostalgic 11, Danny. I totally forgot to do that.
All right. All right. So moving on. Another player that we expected not to be here by the time the transfer window ended, which ends tonight. Julian Gressel is rumored. And I have a feeling it's gonna go through. But as of right now, it's just a rumor. There are negotiations taking place to have Julian Gressel moving on to Minnesota. Minnesota is a good team. They could use somebody that can cross the ball into Yeboah, but Julian Gressel is probably going to end up in Minnesota. And that would be another loss and a huge open to our salary cap because he gets paid over $1 million, I believe. You lose Robert Taylor's, I don't know, it was like $500,000. All of a sudden, you free up $1.5 million in cap space, plus the fact that you now have extra GAM money that are coming in from Robert Taylor's trade and possibly from whatever we get for Julian Gressel.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, right? How much did we pay total for Taylor? Because I do feel like we made back the money for him. I feel like we probably could have gotten more, but I mean, I guess because he was on the super cheap, right? But with Gressel, listen, this is something that we've seen because of the MLS show. And for those of you that haven't watched, check out the Batter MLS channel, guys. We've been covering a little bit of the MLS 3 times a week. And Minnesota and Atlanta, Austin, you could tell that they're missing something. These two players are going to make those differences, especially Julian Gressel in Minnesota. Minnesota's a great team.
And Robert Taylor as a super sub wouldn't be horrible. Look, if they're really paying Uzuni all that money, which, look, I'm not a fan of Uzuni. I think he sucks. But if they're really and even though he played well last game, if they're really paying him all that money and he has to start just because of the money, Robert Taylor as a super sub is also a ball. If he gets in for 20, 25 minutes consistently, because the thing is, if he was coming off the bench here consistently, I'm sure people wouldn't mind. But he wasn't playing at all. Him as a super sub, he can produce off the bench when everybody has tired legs and he can go take defenders one-on-one. I think Robert Taylor's going to do good no matter what role they put him in. Yeah,
I think, look, Robert Taylor is going to do well. Julian Gressel is going to do extremely well, especially if look, Mike V's saying there were rumors going to New England. I mean, if he plays with strikers up there that's willing to freaking head the ball, okay, we paid $500K for Taylor, Mike V said. So we made back and then some off of Taylor. We probably could have made a little bit more, but it's not bad money. And Gressel is going to be huge for Minnesota wherever he goes. I think he's going to.
Think he continues his podcast?
That's a good question. I think he will still continue it because I feel like transition-wise, players take that sort of broadcasting role or podcasting role. So I think that it is possible that he does. I don't know if he gets the same traction because obviously playing with Messi is huge. You get a different insight.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the Robert Taylor and Julian Gressel front. And it looks like they haven't heard a word about Drake Callender. If he was going to move, I think it would be now. And it looks like he's here to stay. He's going to be the backup keeper, which I think having Drake as a backup keeper is better than a lot of backup keepers around the league. So we're in good shape if we have Ustadi as a starter and Drake as a backup keeper.
Listen, right, I called my son today, and I'm like, have you seen? Don't roll your eyes there, Danny. Disrespect off of you is enormous. Okay, I spoke to my son, and I told him, Miami dealt Robert Taylor, and he's like, oh my goodness, like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I was like almost crumbling on the phone. And I told him, if Austin plays Inter Miami, we're getting on a plane and we're going to go see them this year, but they don't play them. So,
well, the thing is, I feel bad for your son because you ask him to root for the sorriest players. You have you got him a Campana jersey. I told you don't do it. All right, but you still didn't have to buy it.
That's his favorite player, Danny.
Yeah, maybe for the next week or two, but it's not gonna long term. He's gonna look back and like, damn, Dad, why'd you let me buy this crap?
Well, because it was his favorite player, Danny.
You have to make some decisions. No, you have to make some unpopular decisions for your kids sometimes. You know better.
I can't do that. There's no way I'm gonna. No way.
Jeez.
No.
All right. So that's enough Robert Taylor and Julian Gressel talk. Julian Gressel, I guess we'll find out by the end of the night where he ends up. Minnesota was the rumor as far as what Tom Bogarts was reporting. So we'll see. But the reason we initially had the show tonight, right? We're 15 minutes in and we haven't even talked about what we initially wanted to get into. Vancouver tomorrow night is the big game. And yes, Bruni, I am hating on Campana. Tomorrow is the big game, the first leg of the CCC. We are all excited. I got the nervous jitters going on already at 24 hours before, and but I'm also excited, and I wanted to talk about Vancouver because yesterday we had, if you haven't checked it out already, we had Sam from the Third Sub podcast, which covers Vancouver. He came on. We broke down basically the roster, right? The starting 11 for them, all the strengths, the weaknesses, which he said were basically strengths also, right? Because he did like the whole job interview thing, basically.
Yes.
So, but we broke it all down. But I figured that we'd get on here today and we would talk about Inter Miami side, right? Because we could talk about what we think that the starting 11 is going to be, how you think we're going to play, and things like that. But so I'll start here. I'm going to ask you and I'm going to ask the chat. Just in a few words, right? No need to bloviate. In a few words, how are you feeling a day before the game? Nervous, confident.
Very, very confident. I mean, they lost, they tied, what was it, this last game. So it gives a little cushion in between that 5-1 blast that they had. So I feel very confident. So,
and then Steve is saying that Sam admitted that a decent defense is enough to disrupt Vancouver's attack. A couple things there. A couple things to unpack there. One, it looks like a decent defense is enough to disrupt us also because, I mean, look what LAFC did to us. Look what
compact defense.
Yeah, and so that goes both ways for Vancouver and Inter Miami. And also, I think that what he was saying is that they kind of possess the ball so much that they don't have to worry about the other team attacking, but that's as far as their defense goes. And then Steve Munoz saying, I'm Googling bloviate. Bloviate means to talk without saying anything. It's kind of just talking nonsense.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't do that, okay? I speak with a purpose. I'm
going to start throwing vocabulary words out here.
I always do that all the time. I usually have like a word of the week.
Yeah, on my phone, I have a notes. Oh, my phone's dead. I have a notes app that I share with my wife, and it's just called vocabulary. Literally, it's what it's called. And we just have a list of words that we just hear throughout the day on TV or wherever, and then we write the definition, and we just start learning new words because I enjoy vocabulary.
I enjoy reading. For those of you that think I don't, I definitely do. The thing is, when you hold the ball longer, right? I mean, obviously, you're keeping the other team away from having possession, so that helps. That's part of your defense, I guess.
It's like in the NFL when you're playing against a high-powered offense, right? What beats a good high-powered offense? A good running game, right? You basically keep the ball away from them. So I could see what he was saying as far as why their defense is good, but I think that playing against we're all over the place. Let's start in order. Let's first start. Who do you believe starts tomorrow night? What is the 11 that we see on the pitch for leg 1 against Vancouver on that, remember, hybrid turf that plays like a carpet? So instead of the ball bouncing and then coming back up so that a player can get under it, it just kind of skids through. Like, it's going to be interesting. Who do you think starts? And I know that it's a lot to type, but if you guys in the chat would chime in, and there's a lot of obvious ones, so I guess you don't have to write everything, but because the obvious ones, Messi's going to start, Suarez is going to start.
I think Busquets and Bright are a lock.
100%.
I feel like Noah Allen and Falcone, lock.
100%.
Jordi Alba, lock.
Ustadi
is a lock. I feel like the right back is a toss-up between Weigand and Frey.
Now, I don't think Frey plays on that turf.
I think maybe Weigand. And then to be determined for the home game, because if we do bad against Vancouver at Vancouver, if you put Frey, at least you have an offensive-minded right back if you put Frey in. Start Suarez at CDM. What are we doing, Draymundo? What? Why would we do that?
I don't know.
I mean, it's interesting. Hash 808 saying Ustadi, Alba, Allen, Falcon, Cello. So far, so good. Segovia and Bright. Busi, Allende, Suarez, and Messi.
Okay.
Well,
so I think that this we were usually predicting this to be the best 11. Bright and Busi as the double pivot, Messi at the 10, Allende at the right wing, Suarez at striker, and I guess he's putting Segovia out at left wing. Now, I feel like Segovia hasn't worked out at the wing. So I would say I think Segovia starts. Let me start there. I still think that they try to make that work somehow. But I don't know how long they let that play out because he hasn't been very effective. Because he's not the type like Allende that's going to make those line breaking runs in behind the defense. He's not that guy. He's the guy that's going to take the ball and he's going to have link up play with Messi and Suarez in the center of the pitch. He doesn't really play out wide. So I don't know how that's going to work, but that is my prediction also. So I don't even have to say it. Hash, you basically wrote this is the 11 that I'm predicting, although I'm not a huge fan of Segovia out on the left wing.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get running behinds by Allende or anything like that.
Allende, yeah.
Well, Allende, yes, but not Segovia. Segovia's got to sit back and plot. So, and yeah, it's like what Draymundo said. Segovia needs to play a little bit more in the middle. That would be the master plan.
I'm surprised by the way, how many people are saying Cremita. He had one golden goal, and now everybody wants him to start. Where like a week and a half ago, everybody was like, yo, don't get this guy on the pitch.
Yeah. And by the way, those of you that think I don't read, I just want to show you, this is the new book I got, Sunrise on the Reaping. This is the new Hunger Games book. It's really good. You guys should check it out. For those of you that think I don't read, like I don't buy books. I
didn't know that there was a fourth Hunger Games.
Yes. It's basically like the prequel. It's like
I heard about it. I was at Target and my wife told me. I was like, I wish you would have told me. I would have gotten it.
The book is amazing. Yes.
All right. So who's starting for you, Chris? Is it those 11 that we just brought up?
Yes, those 11. I wouldn't put Crema in to start.
Okay. Do you think Segovia starts?
I would put Fafa to start over Segovia.
I'd rather have Fafa also. But who do you think starts?
I think that Fafa's going to start. I don't think Segovia is going to. I think that what they're going to do is they're going to do what they did last time, is move Messi to the right wing. Oh, hey, listen, Pablo, these books are good, man. If you like the movies, the books are even better. 13-year-old girl. You can call me a 13-year-old girl. I love 13-year-old girl books. Okay, these are good. Hunger Games are the best. Yeah, it's a good book. Love Logic. Hunger Games are good books. I still read Goosebumps from time to time. Okay,
no, they are. No, the Hunger Games were entertaining books. I agree. I all right.
I mean, I read the Bible too, Mitch.
So game plan. Wow, that went completely the other way. The game plan.
You mentioned I need to read the Bible.
The game plan. How do you think we're going to attack this team? Because Vancouver, much like Columbus, is a possession-heavy team.
Yes.
Do you think we're going to try to keep the ball and play our style of ball, which is possession also? Or do we go the Columbus route where we kind of just drop back, defend, and play the counter? Now, I know I felt like we almost experimented with it a couple days before the actual game against Columbus. Yeah. I don't know if I'm a fan of how it turned out. I mean, at least the second half, obviously they defended way too much and they gave up on the attack. How do you feel? And I would love to hear the chat also. And just simple, do you think we're going to go keep possession or are we going to play the counter? Because basically those are going to be the two, I think, options for Mascherano tomorrow.
Hash is saying Mascherano just said the plan is to hold the ball and play in Vancouver's half.
I don't know why he would say that before the game. I hate coaches. Why do they have to interview coaches? Interview them after the game. Why would you have to give up your game plan?
Well, I mean, the media's got to do their job, Danny.
No, fuck the media. I hate it so much that the coach has to talk to the media. Let him talk after the game. Why do we have to tell people what we plan on doing? It's so stupid.
I mean, he doesn't have to
Keep
tell them,
guessing.
Danny. They asked him the question.
He shouldn't
It's
have
his
answered.
job
If
to
that's
answer
true,
it or
that's
not.
so
Maybe
stupid.
that's how confident he is. He just slaps it on the table and says, "You're taking this no matter what."
So dumb.
Well,
Like when people are like, "Oh yeah, tell us if he's gonna play." No, don't tell him anything. Keep him guessing. I don't understand. I
listen.
hate
They got a job to do, Danny. They got a job to do.
Get another job.
Oh my God. Steve Munoz says Vancouver's weak in the right flank, which means Alba might have a good game. I could see that happening too.
Yes. He said that the two fullbacks that they have are like 19 and 20 years old, and
maybe it's a fake game plan, Bruno. Bruno's saying it.
Okay.
Allegedly,
Maybe he's playing chess. Okay, all right, I take it back. Maybe he's playing chess.
They got to do it. They got a job to do, Danny. Get over it.
All right. I lost my train of thought when you told me about their job.
Well, that's the game plan. Mascherano said so.
So the fullbacks on Vancouver, apparently they are very young, 19 and 20 years old. One is recently drafted in the super draft. So inexperienced. So the wings would probably be where our strength would be if we could play with Jordi Alba up top and maybe even have Cello push up some. But but we haven't really been attacking the wings very much this season, as much as we did last year. Yeah. And even when they were giving us the wings against LAFC, we weren't taking it. Do you think we see a little more Jordi Alba, knowing that we have some inexperienced fullbacks on the defense for Vancouver?
Absolutely. I think that he's going to have a really good game. He's due for like a really big game. He's due for
just
it.
Real quick, Draymundo said two young CBs, two young fullbacks, right back and left back. Their center backs are pretty good, and they're veterans. So they're good at center back. But the fullbacks are the young guns that are inexperienced. So
I mean, Jordi Alba's going to have a field day back there, especially if they press up. Yeah, and they develop really close, and then all of a sudden, boom, counter, he's gone.
Well, we definitely
he's got the pace.
Jordi Alba. I mean, I think this could be a big Jordi Alba game.
Yes.
This could be a big Jordi Alba, and this will be a lot we're better suited to attack from against this team than we were against an LAFC or Chicago and Toronto that kind of went the whole compact defense. Vancouver is not going to do that. From everything that Sam told us yesterday, their coach is a stubborn person, Sorensen. He says, you know what, this is how we play, and we're not going to change it depending on our opponent. So we're going to have space to play with our attacking players, which is great for Suarez, because when they have that compact defense in the box, there's no way to get him the ball. So I think that our attack is going to be a lot more fluid coming up. And if we can get Jordi Alba contributing more on that left side, especially against an inexperienced fullback, I think that our chances to win this game are much better. And I'm expecting goals. Because the last couple of weeks we've been struggling. We got, one in the last two games, which is not very Inter Miami-like. I think we put up two tomorrow. And I'll give you my prediction again, since we did it yesterday, and I'll say it again. I think we win 2-0. I think our defense, I believe in it. And Vancouver, outside of that 5-1 game against Austin, I mean, they've been good, but they haven't been blowing people out of the water. It's been 1-0, 2-1. So it hasn't been crazy. So I feel good about our team, and I'm going to say 2-0. Chris?
I mean, I ended up predicting that we were going to win, 3-2?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be a goal fest.
A high-scoring game on the road would be ideal.
Yeah, because the goals matter more.
Right. So if we're going to score 3, that would be great, because then we go into our house. If it was 3-2, for example, hypothetically, your score line, 3-2, we come to our house. We have 3 away goals and the lead. All of a sudden, we're in a great spot.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's going to happen, but that would be ideal. I'm seeing a 2-0. And I wouldn't be surprised if we just put up 1, right? And a 1-1 draw, like Soccer Daddy said,
just
it
sit on
wouldn't shock me either. And that 1-1 wouldn't shock me either. But I just feel like, man, I don't know. I just feel really confident, which scares me. But I feel really confident, much like you said earlier about this game against Vancouver.
Are we, before we bring on Joe, can we do the whole 11 thing that we had talked about?
Sure. And just real quick, Bruni says White is dangerous. Now,
Yes.
White has 6 goals on the year. Okay, so stick with me a second. Okay, 6 goals on the year. They are 9 games into the season. He has 6 goals in 9 games. It's pretty good. 4 of them, like Chris was just saying, were against Austin. So if you take that one game away, which I know you can't, but let's say hypothetically, just for the sake of math, you take that one game away, he has 2 goals in 8 games. Yes, Brian White is good, but let's not go crazy. Hold back a little bit. Yeah, let's hold back a little bit. All right, go ahead, Chris. Go with your starting 11. Or
so, guys, just to break it up before we get into the Dallas conversation here. Mark from False 9 from Kendall Sports Network reached out to me, and he asked us to be able to come up with a top 11 for Inter Miami's history, and also a nostalgic 11 for Inter Miami. And I thought that it was a really cool concept. I gave him a lot of credit, a lot of kudos. That's a really good idea. So I went ahead and I brought our nostalgic 11 and best 11. Which one should I put first, Danny? The nostalgic 11 or the best 11? Which one should I put up first?
I think the best 11 is an easy one, right? So go with the best 11 first.
Okay, so we'll bring up the best 11 here. So here we have the all-time starting 11 in our opinion. As you can see here, guys, we got Drake Callender at the bottom. We got Jordy playing left back, Falcone and Miller playing the center backs, and then Ian Frey playing right back, best right back so far. And then back here we got Bright and Busquets as far as the all-time starting 11, part of them in the CDM role. And then here we added a little Pozuelo action for the 10 spot. We ended up moving Messi from the 10, put him on the right wing. Left wing, we ended up putting Morgan. And at the top as a striker, Suarez is the best striker, I think, that we've had in the history of the team. And that is your all-time starting 11. What do you guys think about that in the chat? Look, Mr. Krabs, Pozuelo, baby. Hash 808 says the go Kamal Miller. And then what? Kevo says remove Miller. You want me to remove who? What center back could go in Miller's place?
Noah Allen.
You think Noah Allen can fit that spot?
I think so.
And this is a good question. See, Danny, I'm not the only one that mentioned this. Mr. Krabs saying, is Higuain on the bench? No Higuain.
Higuain was a scrub.
So, well, I mean, Lamar definitely agrees with you here. Higuain is trash. So this is the all-time starting 11 according to us, the Battered Herons. And then we ended up doing also a nostalgic 11, which this was really cool to do, even though we've only had a short history. Here is the nostalgic 11. So here we have Callender playing at goalie, Breck Shea playing at the left back, LGP and Miller at the center back role, Yedlin at the right back, and then for your CDM pairing, we have Mota and Gregory right here, Pozuelo at the 10, Luis Morgan stays at the left wing, of course Campana at the top, and then my heart and soul, Emerson at the right wing.
By the way, that was an executive decision by Chris because I did not agree on that one.
Listen, but that's going up there in a nostalgic 11 no matter what you say. Like,
just because you like him so much doesn't make it nostalgic for you, I guess, but I wouldn't include his ass.
Why not? Who's nostalgic to you in the right wing?
I'd rather put Robbie Robinson there.
You rather put Robbie Robinson?
I'd rather put Pizarro there.
No way. No way.
I'd rather put. You know who I'd rather put? I'd rather put Indiana Vasilev there.
No, are you serious?
He scored more than Emerson ever did.
Well, no, but you're doing that
and
just
he also
because
played more than Emerson ever did.
Well, he did play. Well, I mean, imagine if Emerson got Indiana Vasilev minutes, Emerson would have destroyed Indiana Vasilev. What are we talking about? Indiana Vasilev got.
Did we watch the same Emerson?
What? Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
The one that would trip on himself?
Look, Mike V said it. Emerson played less games than Robbie Robinson. Robbie Robinson vomited on the field.
Emerson got loaned out to the same Mexican team twice, and both times they said, you know what, we don't want this guy.
Well, they didn't say they didn't want him. They just didn't take him. There's two different. That's a difference. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, what? Pizarro and Marsman?
All right. Well, I'm sure we could get into this further, and if we get eliminated by Vancouver, we're gonna have plenty of time to talk about this type of stuff. So that's what we like last year when we were out of the Champions Cup. We started talking about like best jerseys of all time and all that stuff. We could bring that back. I want to have that conversation again now that we got some new jerseys this year.
Ooh, 11 of the shame. Oh, that's a good one.
Yes,
this is good.
Like I said, well, and then after we get done with these two legs, I'm sure we're gonna have some weekdays where we're not gonna have much to talk about because the final isn't. Even Millonarios didn't want them. I agree. We're gonna have some time before June 1st, so we're gonna have plenty of time for those fun shows. So absolutely, we're gonna be bringing those in the coming weeks for sure. But although all our attention is on Robert Taylor, Julian Gressel, Vancouver, we do have a game on the weekend. Now, we usually do these preview shows right the Thursday before the game. But obviously, this Thursday, we got a game. We got the Vancouver game. So we're moving it up, and we're going to give our guy Joe Shaw the last 25 minutes to talk a little Dallas because Dallas has been a little disappointing. So we figured we're not going to talk about Dallas for an hour, are we? No, actually, we're just doing it because of the Vancouver game tomorrow. Otherwise, because we just love talking to Joe. So I miss Joe, and I'm glad he's joining us now. So what's going on, Joe? How are you doing, sir?
Man, I heard a book club discussion earlier, and I just got to say, Chris, I'm all on Sunrise on the Reaping. I finished it. I'm all in. I love it. Let's just get it out of the way right now.
Girl.
Listen,
hey,
they were making fun of me saying I'm a 13-year-old girl reading Hunger Games.
Well, I read the first three.
I'm gonna tell you, it's solid gold. And if you like Hunger Games, but you want a little bit gory, you can get Battle Royale, which is the Japanese type of Hunger Games. Holy shit, it's incredible. So yeah, there's a plug for you.
Nice. The last because I unfortunately once I started podcasting, I no longer had time to read. The last book I read was Life of Pi.
All right,
that was the last book I read because what my wife and I used to do is we used to every December we used to make a list of books that had movies coming out the next year. Ooh. Because we love reading a book and then going and see how it matches up with what we imagined in our head. And then we would just find out what those movies were, and then we'd write them down and we'd go buy the books, read them, and then go watch the movie. Yeah. And Life of Pi. So that tells you how long it's been since I've read a good book because Life of Pi came out like almost 10 years ago.
Man, it's wild. Like you look up, I got I could go on and on and on, but yes, I will co-sign what you just said. It's been a minute since you read a book.
I had a kid.
Yeah. No, it's good. I think you should pick up Sunrise on the Reaping though. There you go. Look at that. Look at all those books.
Yeah. No. We were especially my wife. I'm always a big reader, and I also like to read. So we had a lot of stuff.
Mr. Krabs giving me some shade. Oh yes, absolutely. We'll celebrate eclairs. Sure.
Come on, come on, Mike V. You're better than that.
All right,
Mr. Krabs. This is 1998 Dallas Burn jersey.
That's a sick jersey.
It's sick. So here you go. And North Texas SC, our MLS Next Pro, has designed their jerseys to look similar to this. So I had a couple other ones that I thought about bringing up, but I was like, we're probably going to wear white against Miami, so I'll wear the white jersy. So
that looks familiar to those rugby shirts that I love. I love those rugby jersey shirts.
These guys, these guys are brutal in the chat today, Joe.
I love it. I'm here for it.
So
let's talk some Dallas. Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda. Yes. So Dallas, at first we called it Big Lot Sale, right?
Yes.
Because it felt like they were getting rid of everybody. Pereira,
that's right.
Paul Real. And then all of a sudden they get Lucho, and we're like, oh no, we're all in. We're gonna win.
Yeah.
And then it hasn't looked as sexy as we thought. We thought that was it the Pucho? Was it that you coined
Mucho,
it?
Right? Mucho, right? Mucho. Yes. The Mucho
and it
magic.
just hasn't clicked yet. What's going on? Musa didn't play last game. What's going on with Dallas?
Yeah, so in the game against Seattle, he came out with a ankle injury. We were worried it was off the ball injury, fell down. We were worried it was his Achilles. Luckily, it was just an ankle sprain. So he's been out. He was out last week against Minnesota. He's probably going to be out against Miami, would be my guess, because we're on this 3-game road swing right now, and we don't want to risk Musa if we don't have to, right? And we've got an extremely capable backup, Logan Farrington. I know I hyped him before. He immediately slid right in and is already making some moves, making some plays. He's had a goal in the game against Colorado that they called back for offsides. But he's getting in the right spots. And the real of it is a couple of MLS clubs approached Dallas quite a bit to try and pry Logan off of their hands. And Dallas said, no, we know Moose is probably, realistically going to be sold, if not this year, next year. And Logan's just going to inherit that top spot right away. So you don't want to get rid of your backup when you know he can walk in and start in a couple spots. But yeah, we're at 3-3-3 right now. It's not great, but the crazy
Super
thing
mid.
is, yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's as mid as it gets. You guys scored 0 goals last game, 0 against Seattle, 1 against Atlanta, and they are a dumpster fire.
Yep.
You guys did well against Sporting KC, but they didn't pick it up until last game. So that's tough.
Yeah, we're the reason that KC's coach got fired after we beat them. He left. But here's the thing about Dallas, right? So we're still working on the attack. We're still figuring it out. It's close to clicking. There's been a lot of dangerous movement in the last several games. The problem is the finishing, right? So Lucho is making some magic, but not everybody is on his wavelength yet. And just when he and Musa started figuring each other out, Musa gets the injury. So that's going to set things back a bit. And honestly, Lucho hasn't looked, we're probably getting 70% of Lucho right now. He doesn't look excited in the way that he usually does. The only game I've seen him get really jazzed up and excited was our game against Colorado. That was the big 3-3 draw. That was when, if you watch the goal where he chipped Stefan, just told him to have a seat, sir. That was classic Lucho. That was fantastic. We haven't seen that since. But in the interim, our defense has been rock solid. If we're losing by a goal. The Chicago Fire game was an outlier, and it was a travesty, and it was terrible. Giving Berhalter his first win, I'm very upset about that. But that was an outlier. So the name you need to remember, Osaze Uragide, is our monster beast of a center back. He is the reason why we are in every single game that we're in. He's cleaning up at the back, and he is shutting people down in a way I've not seen a Dallas defender do it in decades. And
what was the name again?
Osaze Uragide. So Osaze. He's Dutch. The craziest thing is he came in at the same time that we signed Lucho. So it was under the radar. People were like, oh, okay, that's fine. But we got Lucho. But Osaze is the one that is making the plays, is making the challenges, and is dominating for Dallas and keeping us in the game while everybody else is getting up to speed.
Okay. So
oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm looking at this. Joe wants his kids to get off the shed. Sure. I want the Dallas kids to get off the shed because I need them to start knocking in the goals. What's going on here? Right.
So how's Dallas playing right now as far as formation and tactics? Are you guys laying back and playing the counter? You guys playing possession ball? How are you guys looking?
So we are playing a little bit more counter than I think we probably want to. We've been morphing our shapes a bit. We started out playing a bit of a 4-3-3 with one defensive mids, a couple of box to boxes, and then the wingers, and then Musa in the center. Lucho being a little bit underneath Musa. It's morphed a bit. So the last couple times when we lost to Seattle, we were playing a 4-2-3-1. With Lucho right there between our wingers. The last game and then a couple games before that, we've been a little bit more of a 4-4-2. So we've got Anderson Julio, who played for Salt Lake last year, blazing fast, playing up top with Logan Farrington. You've got Lucho a little bit behind him. There we go. So here's the thing. Anderson Julio was out for about 3 or 4 weeks because he was getting his green card. So he wasn't injured. He had to go finalize the paperwork. It updated our roster. It allowed us to get that international slot back. So that's why he wasn't there. He started the season, went on about a 3-week break, getting the green card, and then is back. So he started last game. I think it was last game. I look for him to start against Miami as well. So you'll probably see
Farrington. The last 2 games.
Yeah. So there you go. Julio and Farrington up top. We rested Lucho in the last game against Minnesota. He only got on for the last maybe 20-ish minutes or so they could have him fully rested for Miami. You'll probably see Lucho behind him. And then our other two midfielders behind Lucho will be Ramiro, most likely Ramiro, and then another new signing, Kayeke. He's from the Brazilian league. He's also a stud. And then having our two Brazilian midfielders together has allowed us to have a lot of good two-way defensive play.
Okay.
Yeah, because legit wasn't even on the raw. I mean, I imagine that he's injured or something.
Yeah, he is. He was starting to come in. So that's the other disappointing thing, is that Leggett was starting to have a 1-2 connection with Lucho in the middle of the field. Leggett was able to see where Lucho wanted the ball and then get over into the open spaces to get it back. And then he picked up a knock and was out and has been out. So I think what we're likely going to see is one of two things in the game against Miami. And I think it's fully contingent on how Miami and Vancouver game goes. Thank you. That's the key, right? You got to have, yes, that's right. It's not open book. You got to study. You got to get your notes. And I will not allow you to redo it. That's the thing.
Yes.
You can't make up your grade.
And Danny is the same thing. He's a teacher. He's going to tell you, open book. Get out of here.
You'll likely see. So if the Vancouver game goes well, meaning Miami not only wins, but wins solidly, I could see Miami feeling very relaxed, not a big deal, and doing their usual kind of dominating at home that we're used to. If the game against Vancouver doesn't go well, maybe a couple guys from Miami pick up a knock. I think that's going to ramp up the pressure. And what I've seen from Dallas is, look, we're undefeated on the road. We're not great at home, but we've not lost a single game on the road at all.
That's because when you play at home, it's an empty stadium.
It's half empty, right? So that's the thing. The TV side is empty. All the fans are on this side.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, it's a disaster. We clown on that every single MLS show when we see Dallas.
Because like you figure that you want the camera to be facing the other direction where the fans actually are, no?
Yeah, but the problem is when they first built that side, they built the stadium in 2005, and specifically that side, they went for a little bit cheaper of a build. And so there is no way to set up TV from that side. You'd have to spend a lot of money to invest in the right kind of quality to do TV from that side facing the press box and the suites. And as terrible as it looks for the next like 2 years, it's better than rearranging it. But yeah, so thank you, Mr. Krabs. I appreciate it.
And Mr. Krabs, real quick, well, Joe will plug him at the end, but he has a bunch of podcasts. Humans FC. He has the Miami Fusion that you can go ahead and play it on replay while you're driving to work, so you can get a soothed hearing before you get to work. So make sure that you check all that stuff out.
I appreciate that. So the thing with Dallas, I will tell you, being someone that's been with the team myself personally since 1998, volunteering, going to the games, being plugged in, this stadium looks janky. I do. Look, the lion is approaching its prey. In the savannah, the lion rules the day. The young cub does not know what awaits him beyond the forest. Look, there you go. There you go. There it is. So the 2003 season, we played at a high school football stadium, South Lake Dragon Stadium. That was the worst stadium situation we've ever been a part of. It was so bad. The fans boycotted the team for a long time. The coach got fired. I think that was our worst, like, bottom of the barrel season. And it was so bad. The Hunts had just bought the team, and they were like, we're going to move to South Lake because we're building the stadium in Frisco. So we moved from the Cotton Bowl in 2002 to South Lake Dragon Stadium in 2003. And then we were going to be there in 2003 and 2004. It was so bad, they said, screw it. We're going to rent the Cotton Bowl again for 2004. We're going to go back to the Cotton Bowl, and we'll just be at the Cotton Bowl until the stadium is built in 2005. But yeah, it doesn't look good this year at all. And the best part is they just demolished the concession areas. So in these 3 games we're gone, they took the construction.
What are people eating and drinking
on the side you can't see, right?
Oh,
actually, it's BYOB. It's like a softball game. You just bring your cooler in, right?
I love that.
So that's why Dallas can't get jazzed at home, because you've got like this. Beep,
you got sober people.
Beep beep beep, right? And then also the people on the other side. So when you get a chance to play in an environment like in Atlanta, or Miami on the road, you're pumped. You're just like, any crowd is great. I don't care if they're booing me. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Any player that you think we should keep an eye on just because we don't watch Dallas on a regular basis, and you're like, you know what, this guy, keep an eye on him. He's a baller.
So definitely Osaze. I know I mentioned him before, but hands down, he is the guy. Look, he's the guy that's I'm putting it like here's my prediction for the episode. We'll get to scores in a second. My prediction of the episode is that Osaze and Suarez will get a mutual yellow card because they won't be able to get out of each other's face.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Like they both got that fire and they both got that I'm protecting my teammate, right? And I don't think Osaze is going to do anything to Messi. I think he's going to do it to somebody else, but Suarez is going to get up and get in his face. And Osaze never backs down. He's a tall dude. He's kind of intimidating. So that's who I would look out. The other one, and this is more from if you're a Miami fan, this is what you want to see perspective. Our left back, Marco Farfan, who had the Messi to Farfan goal in the League's Cup. Yeah, he should go on that nostalgic 11. Chris, he is your left back.
I like that.
or the worst 11 if you're drafting that. Either way, right? I think either way,
it could be the best.
So he has some like weird leg injury where they did a really invasive surgery, and he's out for a little while. And we've got Nolan Norris, who came up from North Texas, our next pro team. He's a homegrown player. He's been on the roster for a few years. They gave Norris the start a few weeks ago at left back. He did pretty well. And because he did pretty well, they let Farfan go to surgery and be out for the injury because they felt comfortable enough with Norris getting the start and then them bringing up another next pro guy to back him up. I say watch him because that's Messi's preferred side, right? Is down that right side. And so you'll have Norris tasked with defending Messi. It's a tall task for anybody. It's a taller task for a young kid. He's a good player, but it's a tall task. So I think if you're going to see a breakthrough, it's going to probably be on that side. Yes, you need to go down the right side and you need to whip it in and you need to get behind Norris because he'll take a reckless yellow card if you get past him. The only thing that helps Norris out, though, that was for people only listening. There was a question in the chat to ask me to whisper. So that was me whispering.
No, it's because they're getting ahead of the show because you'll see.
All right. Well, so watching Norris, but the thing with Norris that helps protect him is that Osaze plays left-sided center back. So Osaze is going to be the one that provides cover when Norris goes up or is tracking back. So Osaze is really going to be the one tasked with guarding Messi, but Norris is going to be lining up on that side. So those are the two players that I would say watching from the Dallas perspective, and also
how high do the fullbacks go up? Are we going to find space in behind them?
You will on our right backside. So Shaq Moore likes to go up pretty far. So that's on the who's playing left wing for y'all these days.
Well, somebody not Robert Taylor.
Oh yeah. Oh, R.I.P.
Somebody that doesn't attack the wing, Segovia, but he's almost like an inverted winger. He doesn't really attack that open space. So
okay, well that's not really good. So Shaq Moore usually will go pretty high to cross it in. Norris will stay, or at least when Farfan was on left back, he stayed back quite a bit. Norris is kind of undecided, but probably more staying back. But Anderson, Julio, and Shaq Moore usually will interchange on that right side. But if there's going to be space, it's going to be on y'all's left, our right.
Oh, look, people are getting excited for the matchup, Danny, against Dallas.
I legit think it's going to be high scoring. Am I a degenerate gambler? Maybe.
Well, and that's where
this is where the lead-in comes in.
So, okay. All right. Thanks, Mr. Krabs.
So, hypothetically, let's say you are a degenerate gambler. Can you gamble in Texas?
I'm pretty sure you can.
No, it's not allowed. No, you got to go up to. You got to go across the border to Oklahoma.
Okay. It wasn't allowed for us either up until recently, like a year or two ago, to be at the Hard Rock. All right, so let's say hypothetically you're a degenerate gambler and you're gambling on Bovado because that's the way around it, right? Yeah. And you bet the house. You just decide, I'm just going to bet the house on Inter Miami because I am convinced that they will win. And then it's game day. You get the jitters. You start doubting it. You're like, I just bet the house, but now I'm having doubts. So you walk up to Mascherano because for some reason you have access to him, and you whisper in his ear, which is where the whispering part, the comments came from, and you tell him, Mash, this is how you beat Dallas. What are you telling him?
Sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg. I love it. Yes.
It's got to be Osaze. You take Osaze out, you sweep his leg. Look, I don't advocate for hardcore violence unless I'm watching pro wrestling, right? But yeah, if you take Osaze or Urquidy out of this match, Dallas will crumple. Dallas lives and dies. Dallas defense lives and dies by Osaze. Martin Paz is in net. He's still phenomenal, but he can only be superhuman for so long, and he's gotten better this year because of the defense. But sweep the leg, take out Osaze, or goad him into getting carded and ejected. Yes. Then Dallas will put in Lalas Abubakar to be next to Sebastian Ibiaga. Not a great duo together. If Lalas is healthy, he was injured last week. So it could be a next pro center back, which also wouldn't be good. And then you would then the floodgates would open. You'd be looking at like a 4-1-4. I don't want you to send out the goons. I'm just saying, if I was whispering in Mascherano's ear, that's what I would tell him.
Now,
hey, it just said Mascherano entered the chat. What's up with that?
Yeah, I do believe that we're finally going to see some rotation from Inter Miami for this game, just because the turnaround is so short. They moved the game from Saturday to Sunday, and then we have the Champions Cup second leg of the semifinals to make it to the final on Wednesday. So there will be only 2 days in between those two games. I really do think we're finally going to see some rotation. I do think that Miami is deep enough to get a result anyway, but it will be an entertaining game. Will Messi play? I don't know. I guess it depends on how he ends tomorrow night. But I do think we're finally going to see some rotation. So with that being said, it's prediction time. Joe, how do you see this game ending?
So my prediction that I wrote down before I came on here was a 3-3 draw.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
Because it's going to be back and forth. And I'll do a little bit of parlay, if you will. So I think Dallas's goal scorers are going to be Farrington.
Okay.
He'll probably get fed in by Lucho. I think Lucho is going to get a free kick. And then the last one is going to probably be Osaze with a header from a corner. So we got center back, we got Lucho, and we got the forward. So that's my guess. With Miami, spin the wheel, make a deal. It could be anybody. It could be a hat trick for Messi. But I think both teams are going to look. Our new coach Eric Quill, he likes to come in guns a-blazing, ready to go. Don't back down. And I think it's going to be back and forth. And as good as our defense has been, I think we're going to say, screw it. Everybody play high and let's go for broke.
I love that. I hope that's the way it goes, because that would be a fun game.
The other prediction, if Osaze is not there, probably 3-1 Miami.
Okay.
Or 2-0. That's my guess. But my real prediction is 3-3.
Osaze is a key in this, Danny. I'm gonna blow the doors out of this, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be 4-2. Inter Miami wins.
4-2. Although 4-2. We're probably gonna rotate the squad.
Yes, and let me tell you, rotating is gonna be fun, Danny, because you'll be able to see because there's gonna be guys that are gonna get cards because this is gonna be a sloppy game. So I think it's gonna be a fun and sloppy game. 4-2. I'm going hard.
Okay. I'm gonna say we get out of there with a 1-1 draw.
You're awful, Danny. Your predictions are so terrible, man.
How many times have any of your predictions this season of those high-scoring games come true? Of the
They have. I've mentioned
you landed one. Yeah, you landed one. I know. And then you had to make sure that and you mentioned that 10 times throughout the show because you were so surprised.
I think I've landed 3 accurate predictions.
Joe, can you believe this guy?
Listen. We can go back. We didn't check the tape. Okay, Danny? If you think I'm lying.
All right.
1-0. Who cares about your prediction?
I said 1-1.
1-1. That's even worse.
There's 2 goals.
Yeah, but look at this. Boring. Amanda just
if I would have predicted a 0-0 draw against Chicago, you would have pooped all over my prediction, and I would have been right.
I would, but you know what? I would have ended the stream right there.
All right, Joe, I apologize for the nonsense.
What? I'm only here for the nonsense. I don't know about anyone else, but that's why I want to call out Dre, my good buddy Dre. Thanks so much for joining the episode. Dallas Gas during second half with the humidity. We win 2-0. Drake Callender gets clean sheet. Look, here's the thing. Dallas has humidity. Y'all act like Dallas doesn't live and breathe in the humidity.
Horrible,
yeah. Dre, I usually agree with you on most things. I'm going to disagree here. I don't think you're going to see Dallas gassed midway through or halfway through the second half. It still could be 2-0. I'm not saying that prediction is wrong. I'm just saying the other part.
This is a good question. Upcode's ask Joe who wins in Vancouver.
I think look, this is an unpopular opinion. I think it's 2-1 Vancouver. Brian White gets a double. And Miami comes back and wins the series in Miami.
Oof.
Because Vancouver has been like wild and hard to like pin down this year. When we played them, we were lucky to lose 1-0. Like it was hard to contain them. And that was, I think, when Brian White was out, right? Now he's back. He came off the bench, I think, but it doesn't matter. The point is Vancouver seems to have this unlocked level. And I think what's going to happen is that even though Vancouver will set themselves up for success in the second leg, I think they won't get it because it is still like it is hard to plan for the Messi effect. And I just think Messi is going to unlock another gear that he's like, when he gets angry, right? When he gets angry, it just like, he like hulks out, right? So I think that's what we're going to see. You couldn't see that from the Liga MX team. They were just like, oh man, crap. And that's it. I don't think Messi's going to let that happen. So I think it's going to be 2-1 Vancouver in the first leg, but then Miami comes back and probably wins 3-0 or 2-0 at home, and wins it on away goals.
That would be very, very fun.
I got that math right.
All right, Joe. Yeah. As always, we appreciate you coming and hang out with us. You are effing awesome. Let everybody know where they can find you because you got so many things going on.
Yeah. So
if you like to retweet all of them.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So at Humans United FC on Instagram. If you're on the Twitter space, I'm at Dtalks, DTALKS, like Talks Joe. If you want to check out some of my like parenting podcasts and stuff I do, it's detoxpodcast.com. So you can check that out. But at Humans United FC on Instagram, that's the Apple space. I do a music podcast called After the Encore. There's a plug for that. You can go check that out. My biggest thing that I'm working on right now, some people know about, not everybody knows about, so I'll plug it here. I'm actually writing a book. I'm in the process of taking the Miami Fusion content and turning it into a book about the Miami Fusion. I'm in talks with a couple of publishers right now, so I'm very excited about it. Things are going well. I'm happy to keep sharing it. I did it for me, and then it's turned into a fun thing that a lot of people are excited about. And it's
Chris
also
is excited because he's such a big reader.
I know. I'm going to come back and we'll talk about it for book club.
I mean, for sure, because people should be reading books. Okay, guys, come on.
All right.
Oh, hold on. This last comment right here, Mr. Krabs. If you can bring that up, that is the most true comment I think has been said this entire chat. Thank you. I look nice. I do want Nico Harrison's head for trading Luka. I don't know what is happening. We are rioting here in Dallas. The Mavs fans for life have left because we don't know who to cheer for. You gave us crap. You took away Luka, a franchise player. We got people over here talking about curses. We got people over here making comparisons to Babe Ruth. Up is down, down is up. I don't even know what's happening. Look, we act like we've won 10 championships. We've won one thanks to Dirk. We were on the cusp before, but yeah, I'm right there with you, Mr. Krabs. Nico out. That's what I gotta say.
I will tell you, I don't want to completely derail the show. We're about to end, but that has to be. I mean, you mentioned Babe Ruth. So I guess
worst.
Yeah, Babe Ruth was a good one, I guess. But like, I can't think of too many worse trades in my lifetime.
It was so lopsided and so out of nowhere, right? So it would have made sense if you got a hint that Luka, yeah, absolutely,
was disgruntled.
Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, if he was disgruntled, if he was like, you see rumors of like he's spending time in LA, he's talking to LeBron, he's hanging out over here, right? Some of these things, but no, he just bought a new house in Dallas. He's ready. He just led them all the way and almost single-handedly got them to the championship. Now they lost because they played a better team. I hate to admit it, but it's true. But he was ready to go again. Like, let's run it back. And Nico's like, you know what? I'd rather just get rid of you because I don't want you here.
I don't want success. I don't want happiness.
But the owners have to sign off on that, and I'm surprised that they let him do that.
Well, so and here's the thing: all this stuff came out where people were like, "Cuban, how could you have sold the team?" And he was like, "Look, I tried."
Oh, sold it. Yeah, he already did. Yeah.
Yeah, he sold it a couple years ago. So Mark Cuban came out and said he tried to include in the contract that he still was involved in the the business or the player deals, right? NBA said, and the owners he was selling to were like, yeah, that's fine. We can put it in the contract. NBA blocked it, said, no, if you're selling it, it's gone. You're not involved anymore. You're out. And so the conspiracy, we got tinfoil hat time down here in Dallas. We strongly think that Nico and the owners are intentionally tanking Dallas. So they have the justification to move the franchise somewhere else, maybe Vegas, because they said, look, if you get rid of the player everyone loves, you get people to leave, turn away, not get season tickets. I got a buddy that's been a season ticket holder for like 20 years. He's not renewing because of this. Many more people like that. Then season ticket sales plummet. You're like, look, we don't have the season ticket sales. People are not showing up to the game. Like, we don't have the fan support. Then they're just like, look, we can easily move it and we'll make money. And like this market is starving for an NBA franchise. They're ready. They're hungry. Then all of a sudden we have no team. That's what people think is really happening behind the scenes.
That's completely wild, man.
Well, in the meantime, Danny, Upcode is suggesting that we start a Battered Books podcast.
I like it.
Could do that.
All right,
Joe, would you fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
One horse-sized duck.
There we go, Joe.
Because
that was my choice also.
Here's the thing. I've watched The Walking Dead, and you get a swarm coming at you. I don't care if you get 50 of them. You're still getting swarmed and eaten alive. And yeah, I might get crushed by this horse-sized duck, but I think I can get pretty crafty to take out a leg or two, start plucking it, sliding underneath it like Indiana Jones, right? I think I like my chances there.
No, I'm taking the 100. Give me 100 duck sides. I need to find the visual of what 100 of those look like.
Yeah,
Danny, it's a wrap.
I think what you're seeing in your head, you're seeing like 10, 15, 20. 100 is a lot.
Listen, I'll run away, leg sweep, get back up, run away. I've taken like 10 per leg sweep. Run away, leg sweep.
But they're horses. Again. They run super fast.
No, but they're duck-sized horses. So it's not 1 horsepower. It's like 1/100th of a horsepower. It's a duck power. Exactly. So, you know. I like
if anybody is still on here after this nonsense, and you want to keep going with the soccer talk, we're gonna be back on Battered MLS Fans in was supposed to be 2 minutes ago, but we'll be on in a couple minutes to talk some Battered MLS. Walking Dead was a horrible show. We'll be back.
Shut up, Dan.
Battered MLS.
And the comics were good too. I read those. Okay.
The first 2 seasons were good. After that, it just completely plummeted.
I also read Calvin and Hobbes. It's also one of my favorite comics.
I don't even know what that is.
Calvin and Hobbes, you should go throw yourself off of your balcony right now. Go do that.
After the MLS show. So if you want, before I throw myself off the balcony, join us on Battered MLS Fans. We'll be back in 3 or 4 minutes on that channel. So go ahead, Battered MLS Fans. And we'll be joined by Danny Brams from Charlotte to join us. We're talking contenders and pretenders. Spoiler alert, Dallas is a pretender. So we'll be back in a couple minutes to talk about that. And we appreciate Joe hanging out with us. And we'll be back tomorrow night talking Vancouver because tomorrow night's the big night. So we appreciate everybody hanging out. If you're listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as always, for those of you in the chat, we appreciate you hanging out with us for the last hour. You guys are the best part of the show. And we'll be back, like I said, tomorrow. So until the next one, have a good one.
You have